Pageant Gals, this one is gonna change everything for you. If you have landed here, if you're taking time out of your day to watch this, I just know that this message and the lessons in it and the stories that are gonna come from this live are going to hit and resonate so deep. And the theme of this Instagram live, and PS, I don't do Instagram lives like too often. So when I do, I'm like activated. I am like on fire. I am aligned. I'm seeing what the community needs. And I'm like, we need to have a conversation about it. Okay. And it is that you need to stop waiting to feel ready, to be told it's okay, for evidence that it's possible, for you to take the action towards the thing that you want to do. You need to stop waiting to be ready. I actually sent out an email a day early. That was my bad, nobody else's fault today, about the biggest difference that real winners do. And it is that they are not waiting for outside circumstances, for permission, for validation, for sponsors, for support, for like a sign from the universe to move towards the things that they want to do. They do not wait, whether this is in pageants, whether this is in business, whether this is a travel you have, whether this is an investment that you want to make. I can guarantee you that every one of you right now is waiting to make a decision. And in that waiting, you are outsourcing your power and you are delaying. We have to call them back. This is important. You need to stop waiting. And if there's one thing that this last week has taught me, I feel like my life has gone into overdrive this week, it is that the most successful women, leaders, competitors, and business owners are doing things afraid and way before they have evidence if it is going to work out for them. And if you're listening to this and this is resonating, I want you to drop a comment below. First of all, drop a crown below if you're here with me, if you're listening to this, and if just the first couple minutes have already awoken something within you. And then if you are waiting for a decision, for an action, for a sign, what is it about? Hanya's here. Hello, Hanya. Welcome. Because when I think about my journey to this most recent win, this is my 6th pageant win. We haven't even, I feel like, got to talk about it here. Alexandra's here. Alexandra's going to be in this Confidently Connected. Sue is here. But when I think about the journey that's led to 6 pageant wins. It's so crazy. I've been saying 5 for the last year, so saying 6 feels like something I have to wrap my head around. That's like such a new thing. Going to the biggest pageant in Canada, all while having my business to support me. And the thing is, over this last week, I feel like my pedal hasn't been on business as much because I know I could stop working right now. I could stop posting content. I could stop planning events and programs, and I still have clients all the way until the end of this year. And the reason why I have these opportunities and this reality is because when I see something that makes no sense, that I know will challenge me to rise, I say, let's do it. And here's the thing I want you to know. I also delay. I also wait. I waited 2 years to start fully investing and going all in on my business. I waited 9 years to claim one of the biggest potential pageant career goals of my life, to compete at the biggest pageant, right? I'm a finalist now for Miss Universe Canada, which is insanity. I would have never thought that I would be here, literally never thought that I would have been here. If you can go back through any content on any platform of mine, you'll see me say many times in many different places that I don't want to go here, it's not for me, I'm not their type, I'm not what they're looking for. You'll see it everywhere. All my stories, all my limiting beliefs were coming up over the last 9 years, and I waited, and I waited. And here is the thing. One, it takes a moment to shift you out of that story and shift you out of that mindset for you to change everything. And sometimes that's somebody else. Sometimes that's an awareness. Sometimes that's an event. Sometimes that's like an in-person retreat. Our gals this weekend are going to have so many ahas and so many like shifting moments. But truly, it takes something to shift you out of that mindset and story that you carry for so long. Because here's the thing about the stories of your mind that hold you back and keep you in the waiting game. When you keep saying them, when you keep feeding into them, when you keep saying them out loud, they feel real. They feel like they are true. They feel like they're the reality, even though you just made it up. How many of you make up stories about what you can and can't do? And you say it so often that you start to think that it's true. I was saying a story for 9 years that I believed it to be true. And all it took was one person questioning, having me question that story. That shifted everything a couple months ago. And when everything shifted a couple months ago, so this aha, like these different aha moments will look like a realization, an epiphany, a questioning. It will be like this whole moment that just shifts the way that you see life, that shifts the way that you see goals, right? For me in business, it was the day that I was like, I can no longer not invest in my business. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to grow. And I'm growing at a snail pace right now. And if I want to do this full time, I need support. And I made a 10K USD investment in my business, my first ever investment ever. That completely catapulted me into now having a full-time business in my office, in my home that I just bought just 4 years later. This moment for me going to this next pageant was a friend questioning my story. And here's what happens when you start to change the stories that you believed were true. Your mind starts to find evidence for the opposite, right? So if my story before was, I can't invest in my business, or I can't run a full-time pageant coaching business, or I can't compete at Miss Universe Canada, I'm not what they're looking for, I won't do well, like I'll just be giving them my money, whether it's a coach, a director, a pageant, you name it. When you start to shift and question that, you start to break down the validity of it. You start to break down like, wait, I'm just fueling this. Like that's not actually true. That's just things that I say. And then what happens is when you start to question the stories that are holding you back, your brain starts to look for evidence that the opposite is true. So what happened 2 months ago, I was at the regional Canada pageants. I was with a friend. She questioned this, like, why wouldn't you try it, right? Why wouldn't you just try to go? Like, I think that you could do it. And when I started to question, like, okay, let me think about that. Like, let me stop the story I've been saying and let me actually go into what I want, like what else could be possible. I do this a lot with clients at the retreat, in the Queen Collective, in Empire, right? A lot of it is realizing where our thoughts and our own mind are in our own way. And immediately, when I automatically just started questioning the story, my brain started going into overdrive as to all of the reasons why the opposite was true. So instead of seeing the limitations, instead of seeing the stories, instead of seeing the things I heard in the media or from the community or from what other people said and believed, I started seeing reasons why this could work out for me. And reasons why that I shouldn't just try, but I should just do it. And it looked like the experience I had, the network I built, the polish and presence that I bring, the platform and impact, like the living, breathing embodiment of what it means to be a queen at the biggest level, the heart, the drive, the determination, I could, even going into the nerdy aspect of like, I could tell you like what every single one of their title holders have worn when they won in their prelims, the outfits, the competition things, because that's how aware and how educated I've been, on this particular system. And all of a sudden, my brain started to see all the reasons why I should. But then came the question of, will I actually do it? Will I sign up for the qualifier pageant that can actually get me to go there? Ooh, I'd only have, 6 weeks to prepare? I think I need more time. Oh, there's other girls who, would love this opportunity, who it would be so good for. Can I compete against them? I'm much older than most of them. I'm, short is always going to be my story because I am shorter than most people who compete. I have things, but is it at that next level quality? Like, am I really ready for this? And instead of saying, I'm going to wait, having this realization of I want to do this, right? And I know a lot of you do this. I know a lot of you say, I want to invest in my pageant journey. I want to compete here. I want to invest in my business. I want to start a business. I want to do X, Y, Z, a podcast, a social media page, whatever it is. And then you say you want it. And then the action that you actually have to do to get there presents itself. And you say, nope. Oh no, I can't do that. I'm not ready. Oh no, I need to go get a sponsor first. Oh no, I need to go make money first before I invest in that. Oh no, I need to wait until someone tells me it's okay. Oh, well, I don't know if I can. And you wait for outer circumstances again to tell you what to do. The queens, the winners, and the women who are going to the top are never outsourcing their power and decisions to things outside of them. Never. They're never waiting for something else around them to click in place, because guess what? You need to be self-sufficient and self-reliant to go on these bigger journeys, to go up to the top of the mountain, to go to the top of the pedestal, to wear the crown, to be the CEO. And if you're outsourcing step one to other people and you're saying they need to show up in a certain way and give me reassurance before I move, invest, take the first step, step 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you're never going to be able to climb, right? Because you're always waiting for that external circumstance. So I had a couple weeks of, should I do this? Should I not do this? Instead of saying, I have this realization, I can do this. I see all the reasons now why I should do this. Am I actually going to say no to the calling? Or am I going to be the woman who moves before I'm ready? I was actually having a conversation with my husband, Carlos, about this. And I said to him, I'm like, going to Miss Universe Canada, like having another title, I'm like, that's a lot of work, right? I'm like, all the things you have to get together, 6 weeks, you got fundraising, you got events that you got to do, photo shoots, outfits. And you know what he said to me? He said, yeah, well, because I said, I'm like, well, that's a lot, like that's going to be hard. And he said, yeah, so is running a full-time pageant coaching business as the Pageant Gal. This man is like my soulmate, if you didn't realize. And that immediately, again, shifted my mindset to, oh yeah, I already do hard things. And if I can do that, it's not that this is going to be necessarily easier, but I know how to do it, even though I don't see the path, even though it's not super clean or clean. Hopefully it'll be a clean path. It has been so far, and I'm very grateful for it. And so I said yes. I said yes before I was ready. Yes before I knew how. Yes before it all came together. Yes when I was scared. Yes when I was uncertain. Yes when I was tired and didn't, think I could or want to. I said yes, and this is your invitation that I want to ask you and invite you into. I can't make you take your steps, right? And I don't want that. We love Carlos. Yes, we do. Where are you waiting? You need to stop waiting for other people, for other circumstances, and you need to move before you are ready, because that is the number one indicator to me that you are going to make it. Because you have the biggest thing that so many women, so many people in our society don't have, and that is self-trust. If you do not have your self-trust, you've got nothing. It doesn't matter if you get the title, it doesn't matter if you get the client, if you get the business. If you do not trust yourself, you will not have this ability to be resourceful and aligned with the decisions that you make, and you won't be able to sustain it. And if you do, you're not going to be happy and fulfilled. Congratulations on your win. Thank you, Ashley. So this is your sign that you have to move for the win. You have to move for the results that you want. You have to move for the reality that you want to create, even if you don't see it right now. Even if you don't necessarily know how it's going to work out. Even if you don't see the steps. Even if you don't have the permission or someone telling you to go and do it. Or you're feeling like, I need to wait for this to give me a sign. No, you just need to decide to go and do it. This is the push that I give you when you are in my world. I don't let you sit on your excuses, whether you're in a business coaching program like Empire or in a pageant coaching program like the Queen Collective, which, by the way, you can message me for either or, of course. But you have to move for the win. Okay? That's what I wanted to share with you all today. So with that being said, we have a couple of really exciting experiences that are coming up in July. We have the Miss Confidently Connected virtual pageant fundraiser for CMHA. We are literally almost half sold out of this. So if you want to claim your spot, you better message me real fast, because these are all going to fill up, and it's an incredible opportunity to give back to a good cause, to practice your pageant performance, to win the grand prize. You can message me about that. And then there's also a couple of masterclasses in July. There's going to be a free masterclass, and then there's going to be a paid masterclass. All of those details are coming up because, again, like this 10th pageant I've competed in, this 6th win has brought so much into my mind that I want to share with my community and women who I know and see have so much potential and so much that they can unleash themselves from. And sometimes you need someone to help you see where can you really push yourself in a bigger way. And that's what I'm here to help you do. And by the way, seeing it on social media, you get like a fraction of what it actually is. When you're actually working with me in my higher level group containers and spaces, that's when you really transform. So I'm going to encourage you that if you see me every day and you're like, you get a little bit of inspiration here or there, that this is your sign to take that next step, Even if you don't know exactly where you're going or how it's gonna work out, we do that together. You can message me, my DMs are open. Appreciation from South Africa, welcome. Thank you, ladies. Chin up, crown on. I've gotta go ready for client calls and for the Monumental You retreat, Miss Universe Canada, Miss Via Italia, all of the things, and I will see you all in the next one.